Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of my wife and I, we would like to thank you all for coming and making this day so special. We know that a lot of you have travelled long distances from as southerly as Devon to as northerly as Newcastle and into Scotland, and we really do appreciate you making the effort to come and celebrate our marriage. Both Sarah and I would like to thank both sets of parents, not just for helping with the wedding, but also with our new house. Whilst we were waiting to move into our new house, John and Jackie kindly offered to store all of our junk for 3 months, which meant my mum and dad drew the short straw and housed Sarah and I for 3 months. About 6 months later, we finally moved out. Without a word of complaint from either set of parents. On top of this, they've helped with every aspect of the wedding, which has really made the day so special. We'd also like to thank my mum individually for all of her help with the cake. When we first asked her if she would make it, we had a plain, simple cake in mind. When she came to us after a couple of months to say she didn't think it would look right as a 3-tier cake, we naively assumed it would be 2 tiers. If you haven't seen it, please do go and have a look. I think you'll all agree she's done an absolutely fantastic job. I'd personally like to thank John and Jackie for always welcoming me into the family. You do hear some dreaded in-law stories, but I genuinely do enjoy going round. There's always a game, a board game or a card game going on that I can join in with. And these days I don't even get too many complaints about my slow play. Games are usually followed by a tasty dinner or a barbecue. And John and Jackie are always very considerate in getting me some sort of non-dairy dessert. And as you can tell, I'm fairly easily pleased with games. And of course, I should express my gratitude for bringing Sarah up to be the person that she is today. To my parents, I'd like to thank them for all the love and support that they've shown me over the years. I really couldn't have wished for better parents. Of course, I can remember there are ups and downs. I can remember my mum chasing me around the dining room table, brandishing a slipper, or not being allowed to get down until I'd finished my smoked haddock for what felt like hours. But in all seriousness, they have been and continue to be the perfect parents. As a token of our love and appreciation, we'd like to give them some gifts. So, Chris, just would you mind?
Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
We might need some help. Mike.
And I'd also like to propose a toast. So ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and raise your glasses to the parents. To the bridesmaids, Joe, Amy, Katie, Colliani, Lauren and Andrea, thank you for all your support for Sarah today and for looking almost as beautiful as she does. And not only to the bridesmaids, sorry, actually again Chris, yeah, can you just give, that's a small token of our appreciation. And not only do bridesmaids get presents, they also get a toast as well. So can I ask you to raise your glasses again to the bridesmaids? Okay, on to the ushers. James, thank you for all your help today, taking all the extra photos, and for fulfilling a role that none of my other friends could have, of making me look slightly taller in the photos. Owen, thank you for helping out with the music. It's much appreciated. And not forgetting, this is Joe. Joe, thank you for your beautiful reading. And just to not leave anyone out in the family, Mike and Marion, Owen's mum and dad, thank you very much for the invites and also the umbrellas, but luckily we haven't needed those today. So now on to my brother, Ed, the best man. Thanks for organising a brilliant stag do. I know for me, running football teams, organising a great but on the whole hopeless bunch of lads is quite a difficult experience. So well done for doing that. When he asked me what kind of stag do I wanted, I said something a bit different and fairly active, and it proved to be so, with sea kayaking and coast steering in Bournemouth, followed by narrow boating from Maidstone to Tunbridge the next day. And with a 6 AM start from my brother's house, it was a surprise that anyone actually turned up. So thanks to all those that came as well and made it such a good weekend. Okay, now for the serious part. I think we can all agree Sarah looks unbelievably beautiful today. And she's done an absolutely brilliant job of organising everything. She's taken everything in her stride and she's just done a fantastic job. I should also thank her for making this whole process very easy. I didn't have any worries about picking out the wrong engagement ring, because whenever we used to pass the jewellers, Sarah would be kind enough to point out exactly the type of ring she liked. And I picked up from general conversation how she wants to be proposed to and at what time of day. So as you can imagine, the question of whether she would say yes or not hadn't been something that would weigh too heavily on my mind. And this was also because of her 3-year rule, which basically meant that within 3 years of dating, we'd have to be married. But I wasn't going to be swayed by this, being the one that wears the trousers in the relationship. I put my foot down. And now we've been dating for 3 years and 3 months. Probably the most nerve-wracking part was asking John for Sarah's hand in marriage. And it was the day before Sarah and I were going on holiday that I plucked up the courage to ask him. We were playing cards downstairs, and I wasn't prepared for his response when I plucked up the courage. When he said, "Well done, sunshine. As long as you're sure, she is a handful." But in my mind, this couldn't be further from the truth. Yes, she's spirited, and she's always great fun to be around. But she generally is the happiest, kindest, most supportive person, and someone who I'm looking forward to spending the rest of my life with. So please raise your glasses for one last toast to the new Mrs. Power.